It was Henry Ford who famously let the cat out of the bag when he said, "It is well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." The greatest tool available to an investigative journalist is the ability to research. So nothing in this video is original, except of course my voice. Meaning I have gathered all this information from all over the web on many different platforms and other sources. I have brought it all together to uncover hidden in plain sight facts and events. Thanks for watching, and please enjoy my real life story unfold of who really rules the world. Mayer Amschel Rothschild, founder of the Rothschild banking dynasty, referred to as founding father of international finance, once announced, "Permit me to issue and control the money of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws." And Mayer Rothschild's obvious talent and dedication for finance enabled him to become a prominent member of the global banking industry. He installed his 5 sons in the financial capitals of Europe, where they embraced the Industrial Revolution during a rise in the economic growth throughout these areas, ensuring a dominant position in the world's trade of oil and metal. They became so wealthy they were able to loan money to entire countries. They actually loaned out billions to governments. By 1825, they were even able to fund the Bank of England enough money to avert a market liquidity crisis. It didn't stop there. They gave a loan to France after its defeat by Prussia. They were also able to give the British government a £4 million loan within just a few hours of the request. The Rothschild family are extremely powerful, extremely influential, and very much so cloaked in mystery. Back in 1881, 20th American President James Garfield said, "Whoever controls the volume of money in any country is absolute master of all industry and commerce." When you realize that the entire system is very easily controlled, one way or the other, by a few powerful men at the top, you will not have to be told how periods of inflation and depression originate. Benjamin Franklin, of whom I am a great admirer, said in his autobiography, "The prime reason for the American War of Independence was a battle over who actually controlled and issued the money of the colonies." Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman stated, "The Federal Reserve definitely caused the Great Depression by contracting the amount of currency in circulation by 1/3 from 1929 to 1933. All governments should be able to issue their own money for the benefit of the people and shouldn't have to pay a massive interest on its own debt." Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States, stated,
"The government should create, issue, and circulate all the currency and credit needed to satisfy the spending power of the government and the buying power of consumers. By the adoption of these principles, the taxpayers will be saved immense sums of interest. Money will cease to be master and become the servant of humanity."
Abraham Lincoln then issued his own government money. It was called the Greenback. But it's not all over yet. People are starting to reject the debt-based economical system in favor of the new global movement. People have the option of moving their currency into gold, silver, and now cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. But for how long? To understand why Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will continue to rise, it's important that we explain some of the history and some of the major players involved to give a fuller picture of the current state of affairs and how we got here. Blockchain and cryptocurrency became even more relevant after the 2008 financial crash. Obviously there was, and still is, something majorly wrong with our current economic system. 14 years later, and many of these problems since 2008 haven't been fixed. In fact, these problems are much worse. We now have to address the elephant in the room. Why haven't we been hearing about this blockchain revolution? Well, the news agencies are simply not reporting on it. Maybe other news events have taken away the focus, or the reasons may be even more sinister than that. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a minute to explain what actually blockchain is. After the 2008 global financial crash, a white paper emerged from an entity named Satoshi Nakamoto about a new peer-to-peer financial system. It was to use a digital cryptocurrency called Bitcoin and against centralized power interfering with economic systems. The majority in the know perceived this new system as a better way. The technology invented to power this new system was called blockchain, and Nakamoto's paper was its introduction. Blockchain is the technology behind cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also much more than that. Simply put, blockchain is a continuous updated record of who holds what. These records are split into linked blocks and then secured using cryptography. Cryptography is the means to ensure the records. This is also known as automated trust, or trust that is inherently built into the system. The list of records, known as a distribution ledger, is decentralized and is available to everyone to see and verify. In addition, the blockchain is tamper-evident and unhackable due to its distributed nature. Basically, everyone knows when a block has been tampered with because it is rejected by the rest of the system. A lot of people still view the blockchain as something for intellectual tech-savvy people, or those that are mistrusting of and anti-government. But the truth of the matter is, blockchain has applications far beyond cryptocurrencies and is very much so revolutionary, a world-changing event like every other major revolution that has come before it. And now that we understand the blockchain, let's get back to unveiling the central bank system. In 1694, England was a country paying a heavy financial price for war in foreign lands. The English government needed loans to fund their political exploits. Scottish banker William Paterson conceived, "The bank has benefit of interest on all monies which it creates out of nothing." In other words, their solution was that a privately owned bank could issue money to the government out of thin air. And this was the first modern central banking system in the world. Now central banking is more influential than laws, politicians, even governments, and all out of the public eye. In 1910, Senator Nelson Aldrich and 6 others boarded a private train in New York. They travelled to Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia, and there, away from prying eyes, they created the Federal Reserve System. These events are not speculation, but a matter of public record, and I invite you all to fact check everything I'm telling you in this video. Frank Vanderlip, president of the National Bank of New York, stated in February 9, 1935,
"I was as secretive, indeed as furtive as any conspirator. Discovery, we knew, simply must not happen, or else all our time and effort would be wasted. If it were to be exposed that our particular group had got together and written a banking bill, that bill would have no chance whatever of passage by Congress."
Why all the secrecy? Because it gave a small group the ability to create money from nothing, now known as fiat currency. Fiat money is a type of currency that's issued by governments and is not backed by any physical commodities such as gold. The US dollar, the euro, and the pound are examples of fiat money. In conclusion, the people of that time were against the central bank system. Back then, unlike today, people knew what central banks were and understood the effects very well, because everywhere a central bank went, there would be wealth inequality, swings between economic booms and boosts. Sound familiar? And after each boost, those at the top of society came out richer, while the rest of us got poorer. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. The great William Shakespeare. It's not only bankers that play on the stage of world control. There are also super rich families and individuals that come and go still to this day and throughout history. And when the super rich ask or want something, you simply can't refuse, whether you're a person or more so as a government. Some are very much in the limelight, and some dwell behind the scenes that we will never know of. Now let's take a look at some of the major players. The English royal family are arguably the most famous and influential royals in the world, with family branches that stretch across Europe and influence that engulfs the entire globe. The royal family don't just influence a country with a GDP of approximately £3 trillion, $3.3 trillion. Their influence spreads far beyond England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. Charles III is now King of the United Kingdom and 14 other Commonwealth countries. He ascended to the throne on the 8th of September 2022, upon the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. He was the longest-serving heir in British history, and at the age of 73 is the oldest person to ascend the British throne. King Charles III technically now owns 1/6 of the Earth's landmass, more than 6 billion acres, and the head of state of 16 countries. These countries are what form the Commonwealth, and they are some of the wealthiest countries in the world. The British royal family are now worth an estimated $25 trillion. I won't spend a lot of time on the royal family in this presentation, out of respect due to the loss of recently departed Queen Elizabeth II. I am in no way suggesting that the people at the top are working together. In fact, I believe they have their own individual agendas and goals. They probably see each other as players in a real-life stalemate hybrid game of Risk and Monopoly. Vladimir Putin started his third term as President of Russia in 2012. Over a 20-year period, his rise to power began as an unemployed spy, but came to a head as the man in control of all of the Kremlin, a modern-day Tsar.